Welcome back to the second segment of our video on why would you want to pay cash on your house. My name is Kurt Jackson. I'm a certified mortgage planner here in Liberty, Missouri. And the next area that we want to talk about is where you could be missing out on by paying cash for the house is in the area of taxes. I know we touched on them in the earlier segment, but I wanted to go deeper into them here. First of all, I'm not a tax advisor, so you should always consult with a tax advisor, and the information that we share here is how I understand it to be, and it's not to be taken as tax advice. The common theme we hear about taxes is that you should never take out a mortgage just for the tax deduction. And frankly, we couldn't agree more with that statement. But luckily, we don't live in a vacuum. So we could do something else with that money that we would still have since we took out a mortgage. Now, you know, the government allows tax deduction on mortgage interest on mortgages up to $1 million plus another $100,000 in home equity. Well, that means that Uncle Sam is giving us a coupon of up to 41% on your mortgage interest. Now, we found that a majority of the people that we deal with have a 31% coupon from Uncle Sam on their mortgage interest. So, if a properly structured mortgage is refunding up to 41% of the interest that the mortgage company is charging you, think about this. If you had a 41% coupon on anything else that you wanted to buy, you wouldn't just throw it away, especially when it's a coupon that allows you to borrow someone else's money and put that money to work for you. So what would happen is you would cut your tax bill by up to 41% of the interest that you paid. So if you paid $24,500 in interest, you would cut your tax bill by 41% of that, which is $10,045. So if you have income and you can write off 41% of interest and you're paying 6.5% on your mortgage, then you would only need to earn 3.84% after taxes on your investment to come out ahead, thanks to the tax deductibility of the mortgage interest on this property, whether it's a primary residence or a secondary residence, and that way you can have the power of compounding interest working for you instead of it working against you. Another surprise in our research is that we are under the misconception that the safest position to be in a house is to have it free and clear. Now, while it's fairly safe, it's not the safest position. From a financial standpoint, we found that owing $100,000 on the house with that money invested elsewhere in safer environments is much safer than owning the house free and clear. Now, here's a prime real-life example. Senator Trent Lott from Mississippi owned a free and clear house worth around $700,000 in Mississippi, and it got destroyed during Hurricane Katrina. Now, his homeowner's insurance company, State Farm, they determined that the damage was flood damage, so they didn't pay on the claim. Now, luckily, he was smart enough that even though he had a free and clear house, that he did purchase flood insurance. Unfortunately, the National Flood Insurance Program has a cap that they will pay of only $300,000. So Senator Trent Lott basically lost $400,000 of wealth from his house because he had it free and clear. Do you know what happened to most of the people that owned houses and had mortgages of more than $300,000 that got flooded? Their lenders just forgave the loans, and the government came in and said that, you know, if you lost your house in Katrina and you had their loans forgiven, you don't have to count that as income on your taxes. So, if he would have kept that $700,000 separated from the house in other safer investments, he wouldn't have lost his nest egg, and more importantly, he would have had access to that money in the aftermath of Katrina instead of it being tied up in his house for weeks, months, years, or forever. Now, many are going to say, sure, Kurt, we don't live in a hurricane zone. You know, that's fine, but tell that to the folks in southeast Kansas in the spring of 2007. They weren't in a flood zone either. How about earthquakes? You know, if you don't have an earthquake rider on your insurance policy, then you're not covered. Did you know that you can't buy coverage for damage done from a terrorist attack? So the point I'm trying to make here is having a free and clear house is not nearly as safe as tradition would have you believe. Are you 100% sure none of those things could happen to you? If you aren't, then wouldn't it make sense to better protect your investment? Especially when done properly, you could build tremendous additional wealth. You know, we say our homes are investments. We tell people that our homes are investments. We think our homes are investments, yet we don't treat them like investments. See, if you had your $400,000 on the kitchen table, and I came to you with an investment that isn't very safe, isn't liquid, and earns a 0% rate of return, you'd likely kick me out of the kitchen so fast it'd make my head spin. Yet when you pay cash for a house, you are essentially putting your money into an investment that does just that. All right, so we've talked about the lack of safety. We've talked about the 0% rate of return. I want to look at liquidity now. Now, this wasn't a big focus because it's assumed that if you can afford to pay cash for your house, then you probably have ample other funds available if you need it. So liquidity probably isn't as important to you. But if it is, I want you to think about it like this. Let's put your money into an investment that if you want the money back, you're either going to have to do one of two things. You're going to have to pay a few $1,000s and qualify to get it back according to someone else's guidelines, all right? Or you're going to have to sell the asset, pay several thousands of dollars, and find a new place to live. And it may take months or years to get your money back if you get it back at all. Now that's a totally different way of looking at your house, isn't it? Now, who in their right mind would put any money into an investment with those characteristics? Yet we do it all the time. Now, it's likely that you're thinking about paying cash for the house because it will give you peace of mind, right? We talked about that earlier. Well, think about it this way. If you're okay with giving up the opportunity to build tremendous wealth, and you're okay with paying thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in extra taxes, if you're okay with earning a 0% rate of return on a huge amount of money, and you're okay with exposing a huge investment to more risk of loss, then folks, if that gives you more peace of mind, then go ahead and pay cash. Our question is, which is going to give you more peace of mind? Having that free and clear house, or the fact that you could be giving up $500,000, $1 million, $2 million or more in wealth by paying cash? The choice is yours. We just wanted to lay out the information on giving you a different way of looking at things. Now, if you'd like to explore, if you've got questions or would like to explore a more efficient allocation of your hard-earned money, please call for a free confidential mortgage planning session at the number that's listed on the screen, and we'll be happy to show you a better way. I want to thank you for tuning into our video series, and if you think that this is valuable information and want to share it with your friends, please feel free to send them this way to the video, and they can watch it too. Thanks again. Have a great day.